What's up, everybody? I am Midnight Mike, and you have been watching me on Why I Hate the Jets, and I decided just out of nowhere to try to do a live show. Now, I'm pretty sure in the comments, you can go down and you can click a link and you can actually call in. If not, send me comments and let me know if it's appearing where you can click the link in StreamYard and talk to me live on this show. I would love to talk to you guys. It would be awesome, but I am here not only to talk about the New York Jets versus the Miami Dolphins tomorrow, 1 p.m. in South Florida. Any of you going down there? Any of you down there right now? That would be awesome. Call in. I'd love to get a call in from Miami. But I'll tell you what, the New York Jets, okay, so we really do have a chance here. Now, I don't even want to fully get into it yet. I want to see if I can get some people on here in watching live. I understand. I was actually thinking I do my Thursday show, which this week, technical difficulties. I did do, some of you saw it, like 200 of you saw it. But I did pull it down and was like, you know what, I'll do a live show on Saturday night. And then, of course, my reaction after the game. Hopefully it won't be as bizarre as my reaction after the last Jets Miami game, where I, went a little crazy. I don't think it was the craziest I've ever, I think it was like either the game versus the Raiders or the game versus the Bills. One of those I went pretty friggin' crazy. But I'm hoping that tomorrow, I won't have to go crazy. I'm hoping that tomorrow after the game, hey, I'm hoping it's a good reaction video. Although views wise, I don't think you guys like watching me happy, because the reaction video to the last game was not as highly viewed as the ones where we lose. So is it you people just thinking I'm liking me because I'm a lunatic? I don't know. Yeah. Hey, greetings from New Jersey. That is awesome. I am actually from New Jersey originally. I spent the first 25 years of my life living about, 20. You could see Lower Manhattan from my high school football field. Yeah. But and then I moved after about 25 years. I moved to Philadelphia, right? Center City, Philadelphia, where I met my wife. I lived there for like 11, 12 years. And then I moved here to the Long Island Sound, but I am on the Connecticut side of the Long Island Sound. So I definitely do appreciate everybody coming in, watching. And like I said, tell me if you can see the link down below in the comments to this video on YouTube. If you see the StreamYard link, even if you don't plan on calling in, it would be cool to do that. Hey, Spike, Pseudo Spike, greetings from New Jersey as well. I will be, I'm pretty much in New Jersey for every like major holiday. Christmas, I go a little later. I was there for Thanksgiving for 4 days. It was awesome. Morris County, New Jersey. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to give it away. What made me like Green Bean so much, I don't know, you guys probably watch Green Bean. what made me like Green Bean so much, not only is his personality and everything that goes along with Green Bean, but Green Bean and I actually grew up in the same town, Parsippany. And that's when we grew up about 9 years apart. So, and our Parsippany is a pretty big town. So there's a bunch of little subsidiary towns in what is considered Parsippany. So there's like the Mountain Club and Mount Tabor. And then on the other side, there's where Green Bean grew up. That's Lake Hiawatha. And I grew up in Parsippany, west side of Parsippany, and he grew up on the east side. So he went to Parsippany High School, and I went to Parsippany Hills High School, which is pretty cool. I'm so glad we're going to get into talking about the Jets, but I'm so happy that you guys are watching. That is awesome. I'm in Florida and I'm watching you with no technical difficulties. That is awesome, Anthony. Anthony, you're on YouTube. Do me a favor, go down below and tell me if you see a link to StreamYard, because I'd like to have people come in and talk to me. But I put up the link in the comments, and I'm hoping that continues, like where it will show up. Or I don't know if it's getting pushed. This is my first time actually trying to get people on who weren't a planned guest. So I've done StreamYard before. I've done the Midnight Mike Show in my previous podcast for 10 years. But this is the first time I'm doing it where I'm putting out the link where pretty much anybody can pop in. But yeah, are you going to the game, Anthony? Let me know if you're going to the game. That would be awesome. And we also, during a normal Jets Dolphins game in South Florida, I always call whatever their stadium is MetLife South, or in the past Meadowlands South, because usually everyone I know, my grandparents, a bunch of other people, when you get older and you're from the New York, New Jersey area, you move down to Florida. Same with Connecticut. Like my wife's grandmother, she moved down to Florida. You just, when you get to a certain age and you can't stand the cold anymore, and I feel like I'm getting to that point, you move to Florida. It's just what you do. And then you take your Jets fandom and you head into Miami and make it MetLife South. So, yeah. So thank you, Anthony. I really do appreciate that. Let's see things start moving it. And I don't know how people do this. Oh, East Hanover. Pseudo Spike, man, come on. I grew up in Whippany, and my mom lives in Whippany, or I grew up in Parsippany. My mom now lives in my grandmother's house in Whippany, and I used to bowl at Hanover Lanes literally every Friday night. Every Friday night, I would bowl at Hanover Lanes. And if you guys have any Jets questions or anything you want to talk about the Jets, feel free to call in on the StreamYard link. I will actually, I'm going to try to put that up again now. I'm going to just put it up again. Let's see here. There it is. Let's see if that works. But anyway, so yes, East Hanover Lanes, baby. Did that all the time. I do have my predictions for the Jets Dolphins game. It's going to be, I'll get to that later. There's so many things that could happen. There's so many things that can happen. You're going to say, okay, Princeton won today, now 10-1. Now that's awesome. I did not go to Princeton. I did perform in Princeton. When I was younger, for my first 2 years of high school, I left Parsippany. My dad sent me to Valley Forge Military Academy and College, and I was in the regimental chorus. And we used to do tours every year. And one year we did a tour of like the Annapolis and West Point and all that. And one year we did Princeton, Yale, Harvard, all those. And let me tell you, Princeton is a beautiful campus, absolutely beautiful. We got someone calling in now. Honest Abe. Awesome. This is awesome. Now let me see if I can pull this one off. This will be shocking if this works.
Go.
Abe, is that you?
Mike, what's up, brother? Let's go.
How
buddy.
you doing? I think we have a little bit of a lag. We will work with that, and it's probably on my end. But yeah, so tell me what's up. Where are you calling in from?
Man, so you and I have actually spoken recently through the interwebs about maybe getting a little something going at one point. I'm out here in Detroit. I know you don't start your shows normally till
way later. Way later. I usually start, and it's obviously I have off today because it's the weekend, and I told you about how I'm supposed to be getting new hours at my Clark Kent job, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So yes, you and I have had brief conversations in the past.
Yeah, I don't know when that's actually going to happen. It seems to keep getting pushed off. So right now I still work till 10 and I get home at like 10:30, but eventually, hopefully that will all work out.
Oh, that's rough. That's rough. I hope for you and your mental health that you get home at a normal, what I call human hour at like 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. Cause I've worked those super late shifts as well. I've worked the midnight, overnight, all that stuff. And it's the absolute worst. Just the you're you're just not a human being when you're working at those hours or coming home at 3 o'clock in the morning. It just sucks.
Absolutely. Agree completely. Now,
But
now,
dude, I'm pumped for tomorrow. I'm
so what do you think? Do we have a chance?
Is it weird that we do? Is it so like just living in the moment that we're like this is a real chance. This is a real possibility. We played really well last week. Miami didn't look like themselves. Tyreek Hill's not at 100%. Like all these things you can articulate as to why it should be a good game in the Jets' favor, which just tells me we're going to lose 40-7. Like we're on too much of this high for good things to actually happen to us. But what the hell is going on to the fact that we're actually in this mindset of something good's going to happen? I just had a buddy of mine text me. He put $1,000 on the Jets to win tomorrow. I'm like, bro, wherever you're making your money that you can afford that, like, let me know. I'd like to get in on that as well. But this is what kind of mindset are we in? Like, yeah, you know what? If maybe Zach Wilson could look good tomorrow against Miami.
Well, that's
This
the
thought
thing
process
here.
is just loony tune.
Yeah, that's the thing here. The problem with this team and with Zach Wilson is if Zach plays his best, which is literally, I've said, it's at like 1 in 10 games. If Zach Wilson plays his best, the Jets are going to win this game. The Jets can beat anybody if Zach Wilson plays his best. Unfortunately, that's not a normal occurrence, and the Jets end up losing or losing bad. Now, I don't expect them to lose as bad as the Black Friday game. I think the defense will be a little bit more pumped up than that. But hey, it is weird because we what do we lose 5 in a row and we win one. And I've heard a bunch of content creators and the people on the Fan and ESPN say you win one. Jets fans are like, oh, we got it. We're going to the Super Bowl. It's gonna happen. Like our highs and lows on this
so
team,
true. It's so true.
are crazier than any other team.
If you look at it this way, though, going into the last Miami game, we had just gotten blown out by Buffalo, and we had just lost 2 very winnable games against the Chargers and the Raiders on primetime games where we were embarrassed. And you're going in on an absolute low. These players, like, yeah, we enjoy watching them on prime time, but these players, they want to shine in that time, right? Garrett Wilson wants the whole world to know who he is.
Yep.
And he gets that opportunity and he gets embarrassed on these games. It takes, there's a mentality to it also. There's a human, we're not playing Madden here, right? You don't just have these players and there's certain levels, and there's a human aspect of this game as well. There's a mental aspect of this game as well. And after 2 embarrassing losses, a third absolute blowout that was embarrassing as well, going into that Miami game where you're on primetime again, you're the only game on TV, you're at a low. And to go now off that massive high, because it was a good win. Don't like everything that's being said. It was a really good win. That Houston Texans offense is legit. Their defense is legit, and we just looked like a really good team overall. Now you're going in on that high. You're not going in on that same low. You're going in on a high against a divisional opponent where, like you just said, it's a road game, but Miami's 95%, retired old New Yorkers. So it's going to be relatively as much of a home game in a road stadium as you can get. I mean, the odds have never been higher in our favor to pull this upset off. And it is an upset. It still would be an upset. There's no question about it. It still would be an upset. But a
major upset.
The odds have never been higher for it.
Yeah, it would be a major upset for the Jets to pull this one off. And like I've said on many shows, and I wanted to talk about this a little bit on this, it's the Dolphins fans. Everyone talks about it. The Dolphins fans, if you were not a football fan and you walked up to a Miami Dolphins fan and said, oh, tell me about the NFL, tell me about your team, that person who didn't watch the NFL would walk away thinking that Miami played like the Patriots over the past 20 years. The way they carry themselves is unbelievable. Whereas if that same person who didn't know anything about football came up to me or a Jets fan and said, "Hey, tell me about the NFL, tell me about your Jets," I would immediately be like, no, you don't want to be a Jets fan. It's miserable. We suck all the time. We're terrible. They make you hate the team over and over and over again. Whatever. Yes, the Jets fans never deny that most seasons we suck. But Dolphins fans they haven't won a playoff game in 2 decades. It's ridiculous how they carry themselves. And that's why I want to beat the Dolphins.
Miami's trash, just like as a fan base. But going back to the game for tomorrow, I think we saw last week a change in theory from Nathaniel Hackett of the play calling, where we've realized, Garrett Wilson is our number one. He's a number one on almost every team in the National Football League. Dude's an absolute stud. And when you have that kind of guy, you just pepper him with targets. But you do need a second guy to go to. And the entire season, it's like, let's get Allen Lazard to be that guy or whatever it is. Breece Hall is not going to get the movement in the running game because our offensive line as a run unit might be the worst in football. Let's just throw him the ball. Like this wild concept.
But a lot of, the thing is that a lot of people have said this, so I'm repeating it, but I find it rings very true. If the pass game opens up, so if Zach can get the ball out and start getting receptions, it's going to open up the run game. So I don't know if the offensive line isn't great, but I don't think they're as bad as people think. They look worse because we can't develop a passing game to open up a run game. You understand? You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you. And I think the pass blocking of the offensive line has gotten a lot of crap and sometimes necessary crap for it. But there's been times where the offensive line has looked good. Mekhi Becton has been super in waves, a super roller coaster of a season, has been really good in some games, has been absolute crap in some games. Last week against Houston, he did not look very good, and we still won despite that. I do think that as a pass blocking unit, a lot of those guys are better as pass blockers. I think Max Mitchell is not a great pass blocker, but I think he's a much better pass blocker than he is a run blocker. Same thing with Laken Thompson. I don't think he's very good in the run game. I think that with the opportunity with a Breece Hall to use him more in the passing game, like the Chargers did with Austin Eckler for all those years, right? You have a guy that is an elite pass catcher where you don't have a number 2 receiver, use that guy as such, right? You're not going to build a Madden team with 6 guys that are ranked 90 or higher and things like that. You have a Garrett Wilson superstar. You have a very good and reliable, mostly the keyword there, reliable tight end in Tyler Conklin that you know is going to catch everything thrown his way. And dude is tough as nails. And then you got Breece Hall. You don't, it's the Peyton Manning running game, right? Where you're not necessarily handing the ball off. You're having these short screen plays, the checkdowns, all that stuff. It's an intentional way of spreading it out without just handing it off. And Breece Hall is a guy, 8 catches last week. That should be the standard for a guy like that. He should be touching the ball 20 times a game minimum. 20 times a game minimum. You want to give Dalvin Cook four meaningless touches so Breece Hall can get a little O2 in his system? Like, cool, whatever. That is what it is. Like, I'm good with it. Let him get his ass beat over Izzy, who I don't think is going to be as strong in between the tackles, or at least not right now, not today. Do whatever you need to do to get the ball in your best player's hands.
Oh, absolutely. And you're right. Garrett and Breece are those guys, and we need to get them the ball. Breece, Avi, I think, what was it, last week? He had way more receiving yards than he had rushing yards. But I do think that with the passing game opening up, the run game can open up. And in the off season, that's a huge thing that I want to address is that offensive line. Before I ask you my next question, I do want to say that we have a shout out to South Plainfield, New Jersey. There's a lot of people from New Jersey calling in, which I do expect. Anthony, who I wondered if he was in Miami, said he's about 3.5 hours away in Central Florida. But either way, what I wanted to ask you is, okay, so I want 2 predictions. I want the prediction if Zach has a good game, meaning let's say 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's a good game for, I mean, that's a really good game for Zach. So the score prediction there, and then the score prediction if he has his normal line, his normal 0 touchdowns for 160 yards.
No matter what tomorrow, the Miami Dolphins are going to score a maximum of 17 points. I'm 100% convinced of that. I think they go on one legitimate drive, probably like their first or second, probably their first drive of the game. They go on a 75-yard touchdown drive. That's kind of what the Jets do, right? One 75-yard touchdown drive, one scoring drive where they get the ball to start at like midfield off of a turnover, something like that, and then a long field goal. The Dolphins are going to score 17 tomorrow. If you get decent to good Zach Wilson, you're putting up 3 touchdowns and you're putting up 2 field goals. Because they've moved the ball. Even with Zach Wilson not looking good in the first half of the season, they moved the ball enough where they were kicking a ton of field goals, just couldn't get into the end zone. So they're going to score 5 drives if Zach Wilson looks good. 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals. If Zach Wilson looks like New York Giants Zach Wilson, it'll be 17-6 because we're still going to have those 2 drives where we get into field goal range. We're 3rd and 1 at the 20 after driving the ball down the field, and he takes a 12-yard sack, which is like his MO.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And it's unbelievable.
All the time.
I said this last week. I said it last week. Zach's worst play of the game last week was not his fumble. I was totally cool with being aggressive. You just need to learn to slide, learn to ball security. But I was totally cool with the play. It was that sack on the first drive of the game when they drive the ball 54 yards, and that sack takes him out of field goal range in a game, especially at the time where you go, I don't know if any of these teams are going to score today. That was the worst play of the entire game for him. So as long as he can limit those stupid ass plays, I think we're going to be in good shape tomorrow. If we have, like I said, New York Giants, Las Vegas Raiders, Zach Wilson, it's going to be 17-6, and we're going to be doing this tomorrow night thinking like, why do we do this to ourselves? Why did we think Zach Wilson can be, something for a couple more weeks? There's no doubt
because that's what Zach Wilson does. Zach Wilson loves to get he is I've said it before. I don't know if I've said it on my show, but I've said it to friends. Zach Wilson is actually the perfect New York Jets quarterback because he's just like the team. They get your hopes up in this miraculous, like, say, oh, this is going to be great. And then they punch you right in the gut. And Zach does the same thing. He's the perfect quarterback for the Jets. Now, you gave the Dolphins 17 points, and the way to 17, easiest way to 17 is 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I don't think that the Dolphins are going to score 2 touchdowns tomorrow. I think they're going to get 1 touchdown. I think that the rest will be field goals. I can see them reaching 16, but I don't think, after the way the Jets defense was pretty much embarrassed on Black Friday, I think they're coming out swinging, and I don't think they're going to let them in the end zone twice, especially if Hill. I know Hill is going to play, as from the last bit I saw, he's going to play. But when you have a sprained ankle, unless they're going to be shooting him up with cortisone or whatever, he's going to be in some pain and not 100%,
No, but even if he's playing and not at 100%, you're going to have 2 guys on him at all times. Whichever side of the field, you'll have Sauce or DJ Reed on him. If he's in the slot, you'll have Carter on him, and you're going to have a safety over the top with him as well, because he's just that fast. Tyreek Hill.
Do you think, though, if they start seeing that Tyreek Hill is clearly playing the game as almost a diversion to get 2 players on him, do you think they'll make the halftime adjustment and be like, yo, we can just put Sauce near him, or we could just put DJ Reed near him. He is slower than usual. And by the second half, the Jets kind of figure that out.
I don't see that, because Robert Saleh's whole systematic defensively is don't get explosive plays given on you, right? No explosives. Take it in front, make the tackle, nothing behind you. And Tyreek Hill at 75% is probably still a top 5 fastest guy in the league. Can you imagine? All right, let's go into the future. Let's go into our time machine, go into the future. And in a major play of the game, Tyreek Hill is matched up one-on-one on Michael Carter in the slot and beats him on a go. And everyone's like, where is the safety help? That's on the coaching. Why was there nobody there? He's freaking Tyreek Hill. Why are we not putting anybody there back there with him? And Robert Saleh knows that. And his system is to eliminate those big time plays. So Tony Adams is going to be back there all day, right? Jordan Whitehead's going to have to help out in the running game because our run defense surprisingly is not as good as it should be. But Tony Adams is going to have to play center field and double up on Tyreek almost every snap.
See, I am hoping that. You're completely right with the way that Saleh, and it does bother me at times that they're almost never in man on man. It's always like a zone coverage, because I think if you put Sauce on the best receiver from any team, that they're done. It's over. It's going to be just like Revis. He's going to lock him down, and then you can have the safeties and the other corners worry about the rest of the receivers and tight ends, whatever. But if he is slower than usual and he's not cutting as usual, I just wish they'd give it a shot, because then at least Saleh could say, hey, the whole first half, Hill was a diversion. So we decided to pull people off and have him just covered. And he broke for a big play. And then after that, we went back to the way we were. It was a mess up play. The Jets, it's not like, I know we're pretending that this is like a playoff run, but let's be real for a second. We're pushing it saying that. So you've got to, just like the last game, these are the games to just take chances, because really, really, we have nothing to lose. So it's just whatever you think you can do different, whatever you can do to get in Miami's head and then be like, wait a minute, why are they only covering Hill like this? Or why are they running this? Whatever it is to make them go, they're doing something different. This isn't the normal Jets. I'm for, even if we lose the game.
I hear everything that you're saying. I hear everything you're saying. My only argument would be, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right? The defense hasn't been our issue. The defense but I think that was a mentality. I think they came into that game with, we have no chance. We're starting Tim Boyle at quarterback. Like, we're legitimately starting a guy that probably doesn't deserve the right to even clean my cleats after the game. Like, that's where their mentality was at. After all the 3 straight blowout losses. I think it's such a different mindset going into this game now for them, where the defense is going to step up. They know what they just did to CJ Stroud. They know all this rhetoric, well, not so much rhetoric, but all the glory that Miami's offense rightfully has gotten. Strength for strength. All right, you got us once. Come get me again. Right? It's such a macho, like, I am better than you. But like that's mentality, like, every NFL player has. I remember there's a time. I remember there's a time where Julio Jones might have been his second year in the league. And this is before he turned into like great Julio Jones. And he's like, yeah, I'm the best receiver in the NFL. And this is when like Calvin Johnson was at his best, Larry Fitzgerald, Andre Johnson. They're like, dude, who are you? But that's the real mentality. If you ask any NFL player, they go, yeah, I'm the best player at my position in the game. And you're not going to make me think otherwise. This defense thinks, again, rightfully so, that they're the best defense in football. Okay, you got us. Cool. Come get me again. You're not going to. Well, I'll tell you exactly how our defense is going to play. I'll tell you exactly what we're going to do. Try and beat us, right? The coach is always trying out scheme. And you talked about Sauce, how he should be Revis and line up one-on-one. And I agree with you 100% there. Line him up one-on-one, man coverage, wherever he's going, follow that dude around, shadow him like Revis. Every offense in 09 and 10 knew that Revis was going to do that. Okay, if we know what you're going to do, we should scheme against something to help out, right? And they couldn't, because we were just better. It's the same thing now. We'll tell you exactly what we're doing. We don't need to blitz 50% of the time. We're going to blitz 8% of the time because our front four gets home. You know what we're doing. Try and beat us now. And they can't. And so I think that you're going to see.
I'm hoping that it goes this way, and I'm hoping that the defense puts on a show, because regardless of going in thinking, oh, Tim Boyle's the quarterback, we're not winning this game, we're not going to score any points, it's still the Jets. The Jets defense is proud. The Jets defense knows that the Jet fan base is proud of them. And so to let that game Like, I don't care that Miami won that. I mean, I do care, but I don't care that they won the game. I care that our defense, which is supposed to be our biggest strength, gave up that many points. To me, there's no excuse for that defense to give up that many points, no matter who they're playing, especially, when you've played teams like the Eagles and held them to 20 points, whatever.
With no cornerbacks. Sauce and DJ Reed were both out of that game.
Exactly. And so if I just want the Jets to really come in there. The Jets defense, like if the Dolphins beat us and they beat us by less than 16 or less points, that's where I'm holding it at. 16 or less points, I will be happy. I will be very happy because the Jets defense took the Miami Dolphins offense, which most of the time is pretty formidable, and held them to where any other normal quarterback, if we had them, would have beaten them.
And why I disagree with you with the 16 is because I don't think that all offenses are going to put up, so that'd be what, 7, that'd be 1 touchdown and 4 field goals. I don't see other teams putting up that many scoring drives on this defense. That's the only thing. I think, like I said, I think they're going to have one long scoring drive. And I think that they have one long scoring drive, one really short scoring drive, maybe another Zach Wilson fumble or something like that they get inside the 20, something really short scoring drive. And hey, listen, I just know it's going to happen already. And then like a 48-yard field goal. It'll be a 3rd and 4. Jermaine Johnson's going to get a sack, or it's going to be Bryce Huff on a sack, and then they kick a long field goal. That's how they're going to score their 3 drives. I don't see Miami or any offense for that matter going down the field.
And put them at 13 for me.
Defense.
Put them at 13 for me. I don't think they're scoring 2 touchdowns. I'm gonna have faith in the Jets defense.
Again, I got to get out of here. I got to do my Uber driving my kids all over the place. But like I said, I think they score 3 times. That's the ways how. One legitimate scoring drive, probably the first drive of the game, because that's what our defense does. One short scoring drive, probably still in the first half. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're really gonna do. First quarter, long scoring drives to start, followed by 3 punts. Then we're gonna have late second quarter, a Zach Wilson strip sack fumble at the 20, short scoring drive. And then in the fourth quarter, so there's score 14 in the first half. Then in the fourth quarter, when we are up 21-14, they kick a field goal to make it 21-17, and then we score 1 more touchdown to seal it. Boom,
now here's what I'm going to let you go. I want you to plug, give any plugs that you can. But the one thing I do want to say is, it just like in the AFC Championship game in '81, I believe, this field is going to be soaked. So the one thing that did in '81 was the Jets had the speed in that game, and it made them slower. This game, that field could be so waterlogged. They're getting tons of rain for a couple days leading up to this game. And it could slow down what is the fastest offense in the league in the Miami Dolphins. So I will say that also. Your quick response to that, and then give me whatever plugs you want to give.
Hey, if anything that can give us some sort of advantage, I'm all for. Tyreek already playing on a bum ankle. Maybe it slows him down a little more. Jalen Waddle looks like he's always one decent hit away from not playing for 6 weeks anymore. And Tua, we all know, is 1 hit away from probably ending his entire career. By the way, while we're here, shout out, because he makes you think of Teddy Bridgewater and that him getting hurt that first play. Shout out to him. Announced today that he's retiring after the 2023 season. So kudos to the New York Jets legend, Teddy Bridgewater.
That means Teddy Bridgewater can't be our QB2 next year.
No, he'll be coaching high school somewhere in who the hell knows where. But I appreciate you. I'm part of the Undroppables. I host a show called Honest Jets Talk that comes out every week. Me and you, we plan on this. This was about a half-hour show we just did right here. So that was unpredicted and pretty awesome. So we should be doing this more often when you get into, like I said, a human lifetime schedule, getting home at a normal human hour. TheUndroppables.com, everything over there, proudly part of there. It's a big fantasy football network as well. So for all you fantasy football fans, dynasty, redraft, all that good stuff, that's absolutely the place to be.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it, Abe.
Mike, we'll talk soon.
Absolutely. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was awesome. Just to let you know, if you guys are out there and you want to call in, I will drop it into the comments again right now. Call in, StreamYard. I'm not going to be doing this too much longer because obviously, you know, my normal shows every Thursday and a reaction after every game. Usually those I try to keep them from 5 to 10 minutes. This is already longer than I've ever done it before. I have a few more things I do want to talk about. This has been up here for a while, so I do want to talk about this. If we win, we could probably see Rodgers start against Cleveland. Once again, if you've seen my shows, this is impatience, people. This is impatience from the Jets fans, and I get it. I get it. We want to be good right now, but the season is pretty much over. So like I said, the only way I would possibly even want to see Rodgers enter a game this season is if Zach wins the next 3 and Rodgers comes in against the Patriots in a game where he could probably survive decently. But it's like one game because like you can't bring him in against Cleveland and then, you know, win or lose, you can't then have him come in the next game. You just can't do it. You can't go back and forth because if he may go out there and go, yo, I'm not protected. You know what? Get me off this field in the off season. We'll draft and sign an O-line. And from that point on, I'm done with the Rodgers thing. Like I want him healthy. I want that feeling. Remember that feeling we had in August or September? Do you remember that feeling? If we make sure to keep Rodgers healthy these final games, play or not, whether he plays or not, we can have that feeling again. And as a Jets fan, that's all we have. That's all we have is just to goddamn, like the Jets are so frustrating. And I said it on my show. I said it to friends and family. When I have a picture of me and my kids, I have 2 daughters, 1 7, 1 3. And I have a picture of us right as the game is starting on that Buffalo Bills game. And we're all sitting there, and I don't buy players' jerseys anymore. I don't, because ever since I have not bought a player's jersey since Curtis Martin. Okay, so I bought a Vinny. I love Vinny. If you've known my shows, I love Vinny. Vinny's my boy. He is. If I could have 2 players on this show, I would go Joe Namath and Vinny Testaverde, and then Wayne Corbett, maybe. And then maybe like Klecko or Gastineau, Kenny O'Brien. Oh, man, I'm getting into the weeds. Either way, I want Rodgers healthy, and I don't see that happening if we let him go in and play with a broken up offensive line. I just don't see it happening. Go on to more of these comments. Once again, I did put a link to StreamYard in the comments. So all you have to do, it's simple. If you see my comment, you just click on it, and then it'll ask you to put in your name. And all you need to do is have a phone, a computer, whatever, and you talk to me, preferably with a headset, with a mic, like on a phone. But if not, you know, I'll tell you if I can't hear you, and we'll get in touch another time. But let's see. Remember when Rex Ryan had Geno Smith in his last game and he had a perfect passer rating? We even saw a fake punt pass. I would take back Rex Ryan any day. And I know that's a popular and unpopular opinion, but I loved Rex. I really loved Rex. Just the bravado, walking in there, like that's how New York football should be. He walks in. Oh man, he had such bravado. Like that's the perfect word. He would walk in there, Rex, and he didn't care. I love that. I'm not kissing your rings. Rex, look, the Jets have nothing in the past 20 years. You know, the Dolphins have even less, but the Jets have nothing in the past 20 years. And Rex Ryan walked into New York, and Bill Belichick, who had, I don't know how many rings at that point, 100, he walks in, he's like, I'm not kissing his rings. F that guy. Awesome. That's what I want. And you know what? He never got a Super Bowl, but that man delivered 2 back-to-back AFC championship games. You listening, Dolphins fans? Let's look at the past 20, 25 years. You guys, 0 playoff wins, 0 championships, 0 Super Bowls. The Jets, playoff wins, miraculous comebacks into the playoffs, 2 AFC championship appearances. So that's what I'm saying. I still say the Jets suck, and we have those things, right? Miami fans, geez, did they have Bill Belichick for the past 20 years? You'd think so. Geno Smith, man, wow. What about Geno Smith, right? Coming back, like literally coming back, like what, 7 years later, and just having some great games. Congratulations, that's awesome. Show some love to Ashland. Is that I doubt MC2 is here next season. Oh yeah, Michael Carter. Look, most of our defense is going to be back. Most of our defense is going to be back, and that's all that matters. In the offseason, if they go in and draft another freaking edge rusher, I am going to go ballistic. Okay, fine. Will McDonald, awesome. That was last season. We know what we need here. Okay, the Jets need to go and get the only thing they should be doing in free agency and the draft is offensive line and a second wide receiver. Okay, because Lazard's going to be here. And I think when Rodgers is throwing, Lazard will improve. I don't know how much, but I think he'll have improved numbers. A good wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, right? Gibson, I'm down. We could keep him around, but we need someone under Garrett Wilson. And a lot of people have talked about Hunt and Adams and Higgins. Get one of them. Get one of them in here as a wide receiver 2, and have them complement Garrett Wilson. Get him in free agency, and then in the draft, we're not going to be drafting high enough to get Harrison. I just don't think we're going to be drafting high enough immediately. I don't even mind. As a matter of fact, if we're in the top, I don't know, if we're like 4, 5, 6, unless we know we are going to be getting the top tackle or whoever, I would even be okay trading that pick down to 10 or 12 or something, because there's offensive linemen all over the place. And that's the only thing we should be worrying about. That's the only thing we should be worrying about. I don't know what that means. It might have something to do with something else. I have no idea. Please, if you have anything, let me know in the comments section. David, we're going to get destroyed tomorrow. Look, normal Jets history says that you are spot on, right? But I'm going to do the thing that Jets fans do. And I am going to have hope. I'm going to get my hopes up so that I can get kicked in the nuts. So let's get pumped up here. Here we go. Jets. We got to get pumped up, people. We got to get pumped up, because if we don't believe, there's no way that they are going to believe. Okay? If you can get on Twitter tonight or tomorrow morning, fucking write to Sauce, write to Brees, write to anyone. You got it tomorrow. You got it. We're behind you. As Green Bean would say, and I'm stealing this because I'm such a big fan of Green Bean, tomorrow, I below Benzad. I below Benzad. That's the code word in Green Bean's world for I support Zach Wilson. And I am going to support Zach. I believe in Zach. He has never put together. I'm not a Zach truther, by the way. I want him off the team. I don't care how good he does in the next few games. I want him off the team, period. Next year, if he's a practice squad, QB3, QB4, fine. We have him already. Why not? But I'm done with Zach. But he's the quarterback putting on the Jets helmet tomorrow in Miami. And that's that, right?
You play to win the game.
Hello?
You play to win the game.
It's that simple. And I am going to support any Jets player that puts on that helmet. No matter if I want them gone next year. If Uzama suits up for some reason, I would root for him to have a good game. Do I want him off the team? Yeah. But I'm going to root for him, right? David, you've got to have a little bit more faith. You've got to have a little bit more faith. Okay. I know it's hard. I'm a Jets fan of 40 years. I don't know how long you've been a Jets fan, but whether it's been for 60 years, 50 years, 40 years, 3 years, you've got, we all know how much this team sucks. But what makes you a loyal Jets fan, what builds character in a man, is loyalty through the good and the bad. And I've said it, I think it's the pinned tweet. I am on Twitter at Midnight Mike Show, spell MIDNITE Mike Show. Please go and give me a follow. I think the pinned tweet is me in one of my Jets episodes saying that if you're a lady and you want to find a loyal man who will treat you good, who will be loyal, who will never cheat, who will never stray, who will always take care of you and your future children, or do the best he possibly can, you find yourself a Jets fan. You find yourself a Jets fan, because we are the most loyal to a fault. To a fault. I've actually sat around and thought, and maybe put it in the comments if you can. Is there a team in the NFL who's had it worse, or had so more pain than New York Jets fans? And the only team I can really, maybe the Browns, but I don't feel like they have had some good seasons that ended badly. The Browns and maybe the Lions, right? The Jets, the Browns, and the Lions. That's where I'm going with that. Let me know. Like I said, let me know in the comments section. I don't know what we're doing here. It says Tim joined. What'd you join? Did you subscribe to my YouTube channel, which I would love all of you to do? Did you like this video? I should have been saying this the whole time. Please hit that thumbs up button, because then more people find the video, right? Subscribe. I'd love to get over 800 soon. As soon as I get over 1,000, I'm going to be able to unlock so many things for this YouTube channel that I'd like to grow. I spent a couple years doing this channel, and you can go back in my videos, and it's all 80s and 90s pop culture, horror, music, top 5 Kiss records, top 5 Misfits albums, the ranking the Halloween movies, 1 to 13. And then I stopped, and I fell off for so long, for like a year or two. You could see the discrepancy. You could see the last video I did that wasn't a Jets video. And then one day I said to my wife, I said, I can't take this. And she, most of the time, especially I've been with her for like 16 years. She doesn't want to hear it. She doesn't want to hear me every day bitching about the Jets. So I think it was her who I said to her, I need to do a video on the Jets. I just need to do and then it turned into this, where I do reaction videos after every game. I do a Thursday update video preview for the next week. And then hopefully this will become a more regular thing where I will come to you, and I don't want to step on the feet of other Jets content creators. Like, I know that Green Bean and Ryan and Matt do the show on Tuesday. So obviously I wouldn't take that time. I'm not going to, I know that Green Bean and my buddy Gunny, I've been talking to him on Twitter, Gunny and Jeremy, they do Thursday Thick of It on Thursday, like, Jets Media and their roundtable. I don't want to step on people's live shows. And I was thinking, when I started and I became Midnight Mike, it was because my podcast used to run really late into midnight and past. So I was thinking, well, why don't I do a show? Obviously, this isn't a good example of the time. Well, why don't I be the person who does the late night Jet show? Why don't I be the Johnny Carson or the David Letterman? And I come on when, let's say, Green Bean and Gunny are done. They're done 10, 10:15. And then I come on at 10:30 and bring you through to midnight. Midnight Mike, bringing you through to midnight. Obviously, I'm not doing that tonight, folks, because that would be, what time is it? Jeez, it's only 9:11 in the evening here on the East Coast on the Long Island Sound. It's telling me it's 76 degrees. Obviously, that is wrong. I don't know why my computer says that. It is not 76 degrees. It might be 76 degrees in this Jets Santa hat. And I've had a lot of you ask me, hey, I love your hat. Where can I get your hat? And I did respond to those who inquired. I got this like 10 years ago from my little brother for Christmas. It might even have been more than 10 years ago. I don't know where he got it. I don't know how he got it because they were so far away from this logo at the time that I feel like he must have gotten it at a specialty store or something to that effect. But, we will see. Anthony, I'm sorry, you're Central Florida, Anthony. Not in football, but the only team I can think of that was as feudal was the Cubs until they won the World Series. Yes, but the Cubs won. We're never going to win. I hate to say this because this is actually putting it out there in the universe. I hate to say this, and I'm going to say something that I've been telling my friends and family for the past 25 years. Okay? Actually, it was probably when I've probably said it since Vinny went down in 99 with the Achilles. And then I put it out there even more after the Sanchez, Rex Ryan Jets failed to get to the Super Bowl. And I'm scared to say this, folks. I'm scared because I'm putting it out in the universe. I hope this is not true. Knock on wood. There we go. But the year after I die, right? Put all your money on the New York Jets to win the Super Bowl. Whether that's in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. When I go, take any money you have, pull out a second mortgage on your house. Whatever you've got to do, put it on the Jets in the next season because that would be God's cruel joke to me. I don't think God is cruel, so don't don't get all crazy. But the Cubs won. I'm happy for the Cubs. I am. I used to go out and travel out to Chicago a couple summers. My mom's best friend was out there, and as a family, some years we go out to Chicago. And I'll tell you, Wrigley Field was just so cool to be in because I grew up going to Yankee Stadium and Shea Stadium, but Yankee Stadium had been renovated, so it wasn't the same. And Shea was one of those ugly ass spaceship round like 70s, 60s, 70s like futuristic, but really it just looked stupid and ugly. Being in Wrigley Field, I've never stepped foot in Fenway Park. I never think I will step foot in Fenway Park. Obviously, you are looking at a Yankee fan here. I have no interest in going to Fenway. I drove past it once because the road goes right by it, right? And I drove past it, and I was just like Homer Simpson. I passing the IRS. I put my head out, doing boo. That was it. That was all I did. I had no interest in going to Fenway Park. I still don't have any interest in going to Fenway Park. Once again, folks, I'm going to give you everybody one more chance. You can call in and talk to me live, just like Abe did. Thank you so much, Abe. I do appreciate that. I'm going to go into the comments section right now, and I am going to put that link one more time. And if I can get one or two more callers, I will. If not, we're coming up on an hour. The link is now officially in the comments section. Click it, put in your name, and you'll be on here with me. And you could talk Jets, you could talk Christmas, you could talk whatever you want. Has anybody, if there's any Connecticut, or there is one in New Jersey, is there any Connecticut people out there who have gone to Stu Leonard's? It's the best grocery store on the planet Earth, right? This is a Stu Leonard's cup, right? Boom. I am not sponsored by Stu Leonard's, but it just look it up. It's like you bring your kids and it's like Disney World. They have animatronics, buttons you push and things come to life, and like little, like, in Chuck E. Cheese, they don't have it anymore. The main reason I love Chuck E. Cheese because you get pizza in a show. And that Chuck E. Cheese band, man, they would always take a hit song and turn it into a song about pizza or spaghetti or macaroni or something. Love that. But Stu Leonard's has that. Stu Leonard's has animatronics all over the place. And it's so cool. The kids don't even realize they're food shopping. It is a little bit more expensive, but if like I'm the grocery shopper in my family because I inherited stinginess and frugalness from my mother. So I clip coupons. I will look for deals. I know all that stuff. So I know what I can go to Stu Leonard's and get where it's either the same price or whatever, but it makes it worth it because the kids love it. I mean, hell, my kid loves going to Stop and Shop, which is not my supermarket of choice, but because they have that robot that goes around, right? So anyway, yes, the link is in the comments. Please click it, and I will be glad to talk to you. I will do this again, by the way. I will 100% do this again. I have something coming up on my goddamn computer that's going to mess this up. I like your good guys poster. It is sick. Hell yeah, man. Like I said, my history of podcasting or YouTube or anything all stems from 80s and 90s pop culture and horror. Okay, so at all. I got Pee Wee Herman over my shoulder. Oh God, would this just go away? I don't know how to make this go away. I have this thing on my computer that I just can't make go away. Either way, I have all this stuff. I can't get it off my damn screen. And I need that in order to get to the comments and whatnot. There's no X. There's no nothing. What do I do here? I know I'm slowing down. Stick with me, folks. God, I have like a technical difficulties or we'll be right back screen, I think. Yeah, like I could do this and then I could just, kind of hit the Jets song and be like, we'll be back. But we're not. We're still here, folks. We're still here. All right. So, yes, the Good Guys poster. I got Michael Myers. I got Jason. This is Jason right here from Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason Lives. That's my favorite Friday the 13th movie. But there's one more Jets topic. If I'm not getting people to call in, there's one more Jets topic that I do want to talk about, and I will bring that up. But thank you all for watching. I mean, that's friggin' awesome. Call in. The link is in the description below. And it's to StreamYard. It's easy. Believe me. It's just like a few clicks. You write in your name and you can talk to me. Anyway, here we go. What do you guys, as Jets fans, what is cursing the New York Jets? This is something I want to talk about. I've heard throughout my years, I've heard two things that could be possibly cursing the New York Jets. Okay. Number one, and the most famous, Joe Namath sold his soul to the devil to win Super Bowl III. And now the Jets, until, I don't know, till the end of time or till Joe Namath passes, the Jets, whoa, sorry about that. That scared the crap out of me. Until the end of time or when Joe Namath passes, the Jets will not win a Super Bowl because he sold his soul. Okay, that was one. The other one, and let me know in the comments what you think the curse is. The other one is that I hear is that it's the stadium. That the Jets will be cursed until they have their own stadium. Obviously, in the early 80s, the Jets moved into Giants Stadium in the Meadowlands and shared Giants Stadium, and that was not their stadium. Then they built MetLife in what, I don't know, the late 2000s, and that's still not their stadium. Now, I'm not one of these people who say, oh, that's just new Giant Stadium. No. The Jets put just as much money into that stadium. It may be ugly as sin, but the Jets put in as much money as the Giants. So, no, it's not their own stadium. So the curse continues, but it's just as much the Jets stadium as it is the Giants stadium. The Jets gained a half a stadium with MetLife. The Giants lost half a stadium with MetLife because Giants Stadium, and that's the one I grew up going to my whole life. I was too young when they moved into Giants Stadium. I was like, 3-4 years old, and that was around my first Jets game. I still have the ticket for that somewhere. But then I used to go to 3-4 games a year in the late 80s into the 90s. I was at the Fake Spike. I've brought that up before. I still have that ticket stub. But what is actually cursing the New York Jets, folks? I don't know if it's Namath. I mean, maybe Namath has something that he wants to. Namath, what do you think? Why is the curse because you sold your soul to the New York Jets?
I want to kiss you.
Oh, Joe, please don't say things like that. Seriously, tell us about the curse.
I want to kiss you.
All right, Joe, get off the line. I'm done with that. Get him off the line, Jeff. Get him off. I don't want him talking about kissing me all night. That's ridiculous. But anyway, first off, do I believe that the Jets are cursed? Yes. Do I believe in either of those curses? No, Joe Namath didn't sell his soul to the devil. Okay? That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. Now, if Joe Namath passes on one year, and I hope he lives a long life, I really like Joe Namath. I've always liked Joe Namath. Obviously, I never saw him play, but in the stuff I've watched him play and just his personality, whether he's had liquor or not, he's just a fun-loving guy, that Southern draw. Joe Namath is he seems like just a fun-loving guy to be around. So I want him to live long. He is our Babe Ruth. He is our hero on the Jets. So no, I want him to live a long life. But if the day does come where Joe Namath passes away and the Jets win the Super Bowl the next year, then maybe I'll come back and we can have a new conversation about that, right? Once again, folks, please go down below. If you are watching right now, I'd really appreciate it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'd like to get over 800 subscribers very shortly, and I will be back tomorrow with a video. I won't be live. It'll be a normal video like I usually record on my reaction to the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins from Southern Florida, MetLife South. Yeah, and the stadium thing, maybe the stadium thing holds some weight. But I will counter that with the 76 team, right? The Jets took a hard fall after they won the Super Bowl, and by 75 or 76, I think it was 76, they were pitiful. And they were still at Shea. And once again, that wasn't just their stadium. They obviously shared that with the Mets. But I don't think when people talk about the Jets having their own stadium, I think they're mainly focused in on the Jets being the only football team in a stadium. And although, especially being in Connecticut, it would be so inconvenient to get to Long Island to see a Jets game, that's where I think the Jets should be. Because I mean, the jersey makes sense, but we've done it there, and people complain about the getting there from other. No matter where you put it, if you put it on Long Island, it's going to be a pain in the ass for people from Connecticut or New Jersey. If you put it in New Jersey, it's going to be a long drive for people in Connecticut and a pain in the ass for those on Long Island. Because the Jets are not a Manhattan team. That's the Giants. The Jets are New Jersey, Long Island. And in Connecticut here, it's like it's literally, especially since I'm in the middle south, I'm right on the sound. It's literally like you could almost flip a coin whether a person is a Patriots fan, a Giants fan, or a Jets fan. Like you just flip a coin. And I thought that was annoying growing up in New Jersey, right? Because in New Jersey, you have two football teams. You had two basketball teams. I mean, you still do, but I feel like people from New Jersey aren't going to root for the Nets who moved to Brooklyn, leaving New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? So you probably go Knicks at this point. Two, maybe three. We had a few Islanders fans in Jersey, but we used Devils and Rangers, right? Now you move to Connecticut and you add in all the New England teams. What's that about? Right? That it's so many teams to choose from in Connecticut that it actually gets a little bit ridiculous. I mean, there's a lot of states and territories out here in the United States where you're like, I don't know, you're in like Utah, and you have to root for the Denver Broncos. I mean, I don't know who people from Utah root for. There's no Salt Lake City team. There's no North Dakota team. There's no South Dakota team. What do they have to root for? The Pack? Probably. The Seahawks? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out. We're spoiled. We have so many home teams to choose from, but none are really our home. The Whalers left us years ago, and I have another channel, which if actually I could pull down this banner, which I am going to do right now, you will see that I have another YouTube channel, and it's called The Goat Gazette. Oops, sorry about that, folks. It's called The Goat Gazette. God. And once again, this is my first show doing this live and doing all this stuff, so give me a break. But as you can see, the Goat Gazette is. Look, I know this channel is not going to do much, but I'd appreciate it if you went over there and subscribed. I follow the AA affiliate of the Colorado Rockies. Not a Rockies fan, by the way, but I love a lot of the guys on that team. Ezekiel Tovar, Brett and Doyle, they all came from the Yard Goats. But the Hartford Yard Goats are the highest level of professional team that we have here in Connecticut. They're awesome. Their stadium, Duncan Park, is awesome. I travel each year to away games. Last year, I traveled up to Portland, Maine. The year before, I traveled out to Binghamton, New York. I have fun with it. I bring you to home games. I bring you to away games. I show highlights sometimes. Check it out. If you're a baseball fan, check it out. Check out like some of the travel episodes and then get into other episodes. Just that's all I'm saying. So I do the Midnight Mike Show, which now has become Why I Hate the Jets. Midnight Mike Show. I mean, maybe I'll do other shows even in the off season. I have plans on other things to do, right? I plan on going through like I don't want to give it away, but I have a bunch of lists and things that I want to do in the off season, and obviously talking about the draft and talking about free agents we sign and all of that stuff. But I'll have also other independent shows where I travel through my Jets history. I talk about my favorites of certain things, QBs, players, uniforms, you name it. And maybe have some top 5, top 10 lists of that. We're going to have fun over the off season. I'd like to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'd like to get the watch hours I need to get the milestones before the season ends. So hopefully tomorrow, folks, hopefully the Jets win and I get less viewers. I'd rather I get less viewers when the Jets win. Okay? But I will give up the viewers and the watch hours to watch the Jets beat the Dolphins. If the Jets lose, I'll probably get more viewers because I'll go effing crazy. That's just me. My heart is picking up right now just thinking of the Jets losing. But I'll give that up. Tomorrow, I will be back after the game, about an hour after. You'll see pop up on this channel my reaction video to the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins. Let's get this going. Let's end out the show. Follow me at Midnight Mike Show. That's spelled MIDNITE Mike Show on Twitter, here on YouTube, on Instagram. I actually have a Twitch too, which I'm not streaming to right now because I've streamed to Twitch a couple times and I don't get any feedback, nothing. So if you have a Twitch account, go give me a follow or something. Midnight Mike Show, MIDNITE Mike Show. Thank you so much to Abe for coming on the show and talking to me. Next time, I hope more of you come on and talk to me. I would love it. I would love it. But me and Abe, we're going to be doing stuff in the future. I've talked to Gunny, the New York Jets situation report. I'm hopefully going to do a show or two with him every now and then, just catching up. Not like a set thing, but, Jets content supporters support each other. Jets media, Richie, Jake Asman, love Jake, Green Beans, Jeremy, Gunny, all you guys, Matt O'Leary, Ryan. That's it. I am Midnight Mike, and I can't wait to see you next time. Had a great time tonight. I hope you did too. And that's about it. I don't have a closing screen, so I'll just get rid of myself. Love you all. Peace.